Hello YouTube and welcome to the third episode of this series. So one guy commented on one of my previous videos asking about my experience of the paruresis treatment system. And as happened to be the case, I wanted to read some other books this month in order to learn some more about paruresis so that I wouldn't have to reinvent the wheel and waste lots of time finding things out myself. So that's what brought me on the idea to do a kind of book review video. So let's go. Well, the first book I read was the paruresis treatment system a long time ago. And this month I read Be Shy to Be Free, a book about how one man overcame paruresis and you can too. And another book named How Bathrooms Make Me Nervous. So the first book, the paruresis treatment system. When I got this book, I was at a very bad place. At the time, it was so bad that I was literally obsessed about toilets. I would think about toilets all the fucking time. And the only place that I would be able to go was at home. And even at home it would sometimes be difficult. Their life was literally, from the moment I would wake up, I would worry about where I peed, when I peed, and if I peed. And so this book seemed like the only way of hope to me. And I'd been dying to get this book. And just before the summer of 2015, I started doing gradual exposure therapy. And soon after I got the book. And when I read the book, it focused really in on anxiety as a whole and provided techniques on how to deal with anxiety. So the book and gradual exposure therapy complemented each other greatly in this way. I would be doing gradual exposure therapy, and while exposing myself I could use the techniques in this book. And soon after, I was content. I'd been doing gradual exposure for a couple months and I've been having great results. It was no longer difficult to use the stalls. And
het zout natuurlijk kunnen alles.
And so I could live pretty normal again. So that's when I stopped doing gradual exposure therapy. But a couple months later, I would notice that my pee anxiety would grow again. But I was still using the techniques from this book. And that's why I believe that the techniques in this book, they will not cure your paruresis. They might aid you in recovery, but you have to do gradual exposure therapy. At least that's what I believe. And I have to give a side note on this book, because I later found a video on the web where the writer of this book was revealed to be a scammer. Check out the link to see the video for yourself. And be sure to watch this first before you buy this book. Because, well, there are good reviews, like this one, which really convinced me to get it. There are also many bad ones, so yeah, you really have to decide for yourself. And the next book is Be Shy to Be Free by David Saucy. This book is absolutely great in my opinion, because the writer wrote it from his own experience, from his own perspective, and that's what I love about this book. Because this way we can really connect to him. And this David Saucy guy did some very clever and also bold things. So what he would do is he would ask random male friends to desensitize with him, and one might usually just ask only people who also have this condition, but he would ask literally anyone. So what was so clever about this approach? Well, what's difficult when you have this condition and you want to expose is how to choose environments, because when you choose something that's too challenging, it can become very frustrating and very difficult to overcome that. And the whole thing about gradual exposure therapy is that you slowly gain confidence from challenges that are just about challenging, so that it's easy to overcome them, and then you build confidence. And in this way, by doing increasingly difficult things gradually, you build up the confidence to do very hard stuff. But it can be very hard to choose your environments, and that's what he did so cleverly. So what he would do is, he would, for example, choose the garden of someone's home. That's so clever because it has fences around it, and it's clearly safe. Clearly only him and his friend would be present there. And something funny he would also do was that he would be with these bee buddies in the same toilet stall. And I know this sounds awkward, you're in the same toilet stall with a guy, but when you think about it, when you are next to a urinal and there's a barrier between you, it's pretty much the same distance and there's no barrier between you. That's pretty much the same distance as a cubicle. You can just put a square around it and you have the cubicle. So it's not that weird. And it's very useful when I'll reach the stage of urinals, because then I can just ask someone to go to like my home or their home, and it will clearly be safe. And then everything is taken out of the sensitization except the presence of one person. That's so great. So I would definitely check out this book. See the link in the description for more details about how he exactly did things. So the third book is the book about bathrooms make me nervous. This book was specifically written for women, and I thought it would be useful because it might focus a lot on stalls, and this way I could get inspiration on how to overcome stalls. So I'm very disappointed because I didn't get any inspiration from it. I don't know whether it will help you. It didn't help me. The only thing it gave me is that I now have more understanding of women's condition of paruresis, because when you think about it, how often do women have these enormous lines at toilets? Imagine you are a woman having paruresis and you can't pee when someone's waiting. Well, you're fucked. So I've been noticing that I have a very structured approach to making these videos, and maybe there's something to just some random talking. Maybe you can get like something out of it yourself that I can't get out of it. So, well, I'll do just that. I noticed that I have like this bar of performance in pretty much everything, which I have to measure in order to feel loved. I have like these thoughts that I have to be something in order to be loved. And so this month, for example, with gymming, I've been gymming since 2015, and I had like this idea in my mind that I wanted to be 70 kilograms, because when I was a kid I was bullied for being scrawny and I felt very insecure about that. And I had like this ideal image of being ripped, and if I was that, I would be super loved, and if not, then no one would care about me. So I would go to the gym a lot, and I would fucking hate it, but I would tell myself these stories like I had to go to be healthy. No, I'm not insecure, I want to be healthy. So I kept going there. And this month somehow I was able to accept the way my body was, and I just let it go. And so another thing is, since I was a kid, when I was a little kid, I was able to dance fucking everywhere. There was like this, if there was a place where you could dance or not, I would just go there and I would just feel, and it would just come out. It would be so fucking magical, and I really enjoyed it. But then when I grew up, I got socially conditioned and I lost that ability. But this month I found this music called electro swing, and I really liked it. It had it had this effect on me that it made me want to dance. And in some of the electro swing music videos there were also just guys dancing, and so I started imitating that, and eventually, oh bunny, I got comfortable dancing in my own room, and then I started doing it outside just habitually, and I got comfortable doing that a bit. But I must say, when someone's looking at me while doing like a video or dancing, I still get like mini heart attacks. I can't speak or dance anymore, so it's not completely solved. But I'm able to do it now to some degree, so that's something. And I think that these results might be because I started doing meditation since January. So since January I've been doing this meditation thing for 20 minutes a day, every day. And I did it because I heard that meditation can help you to be in the moment and let go of anxiety and fear. And that's exactly what you need as a paruretic. So yeah, maybe that's the cause. So for the next month I was actually pretty nervous, because I would go traveling abroad with a group of about 50 people, and we'd be doing lots of group activities, so there would be lots of potential people waiting at me and lots of crowded toilets. And the worst thing is that we would be traveling by plane, and the toilets in the plane are so fucking terrifying to me. So yeah, I'm super nervous. To check out what happened there, see the next video.